Kurt and Jason can't stand to see injustice, especially if they can do something about it.
They don't like bullies. They like to go stand up for, the little guy, and not only stand up for him, but really just beat the bullies.
If you met them in a grocery store, you wouldn't have a clue that these are two of the most badass trial lawyers in the country. They're low-key, they're soft-spoken, but they are killers in the courtroom.
Hard work is what got them where they are. They took every case personally. They cared personally for every client. I still think they have that attitude today.
I met Jason and Kurt when they were students at UT Law School, and I recruited them hard to come to my law firm. They spent enough time together to know that they not only would be great friends, but great business partners. It's one thing to decide you want to have a law firm of your own. It's another thing to actually create one.
They had no cases. They had almost no money. They just had a will to build a firm.
We started with just a handful of cases, and Kurt and Jason calling small-town lawyers.
They took risks that other lawyers weren't willing to take. That's independent thinking. That's what lawyers are supposed to do.
Saying, hey, we will front the expenses on these cases, we will give it our all, we will go try these cases and we'll get the best results.
The jury agreed.
Damages were awarded to the tune of $50 million.
$860 million verdict, $2 billion in damages.
$8 billion in punitive damages.
It's gonna be big.
Gets your attention,
yeah,
though.
sure.
Sends a message.
I think what Kurt and Jason have done is display extraordinary judgment over many years in very high-risk, high-dollar litigations.
A track record of success leads to one being considered an enormously formidable adversary.
Nobody wants to be against these guys. When you see Kurt and Jason on the other side of the docket, it makes you want to settle, and settle fast.
We were ecstatic over a $500,000 settlement in the beginning. Now we've had an $8 billion verdict.
This is about the closest thing that you could be to maybe playing in the NFL if you're not an athlete. Who works the hardest? Who plans the best? Who's the most strategic?
Jason and Kurt start with an amazing amount of talent, but that's not enough. You have to be obsessed with working hard to get these kinds of results.
It's a remarkable 20 years of success after success, and I think a huge source of all of that success is the human element.
They've truly had national impact.
Their work extends beyond their name. They're known for the way that they help people and the people that are affected by the work that they do.
Everybody can see that they're incredibly smart, phenomenally successful trial lawyers. But I think the thing I like the best is how much they love UT. Our students have kindled quite an enthusiasm for plaintiff's practice. In fact, they formed a really remarkable student organization. It's called PALS, Plaintiffs Advocacy and Litigation Society.
Kurt and Jason put their full support behind us from the very beginning. When you have 3 students that come to you in the middle of a summer and say, hey, can you give us some money and come to school and support our student organization that no one's ever heard of before? I think most people would probably answer no, but Kurt and Jason didn't ask a second question and they were in from the jump.
PALS feels a need.
We've never had a pipeline from the law school to the plaintiff's bar.
I've watched the auditorium fill from front to back with students listening to their stories of these incredible cases. And you could see people walking out of there thinking, I think maybe I could do that.
This law school has produced some of the greatest trial lawyers ever to walk into a courtroom, and Kurt and Jason are among an elite circle of the very best.
What Kurt and Jason have done with respect to mentoring students, employing students, modeling career pathways for students, and generally inspiring our students, that's why I'm awarding them the Dean's Honor.